So, a friend of mine works in this establishment where he earns about 110,000 naira. And on this fateful day, he didn't show up at work. Something happened that he couldn't even take a proper excuse, and he was absent from work. So the organization threatened to deduct a whooping sum of 10,000 naira from his salary, and which they did. They eventually did. At the end of the month, they deducted 10,000 naira from his salary, and he reached out to me and said, see what happened. I know many people will ask, is that right? Is that wrong? It could be right and it could also be wrong. It depends on the circumstances of the case. And what is that circumstances? The contract agreement, the employment contract agreement, what he signed, which is the reason I always emphasize. First of all, I used to emphasize that everyone should ensure that they are being given an employment contract agreement to sign. And then secondly, I say, take your time, read through the terms of the contract. Take your time and read through the terms of the employment. Don't just sign, because you may sign a term that is very harsh. Okay, don't be desperate. Maybe you're looking for a job desperately, and because you finally found one that the salary is so attractive, it depends. Somebody would say, oh, is 100,000 naira that attractive? It may not be attractive to you, but for someone that maybe has been looking for a job for a very long time, 100k, 110k is a big deal. So the person would actually ignore the things that he is even supposed to take into consideration because he wants to get that job. Now back to the story. Asking whether this is right or wrong. Normally, it is very wrong for an organization to deduct a whooping sum of 10,000 naira from a salary of 110,000 naira. Now let me tell you why. If you want to divide 110,000 naira by the number of working days, let's just assume working days in that month is like 22 days, and you say 110,000 naira divided by 22. So the fact is just that if you want to divide the amount of money by the number of working days, you're going to have something less than that amount of money that the company is deducting. Meanwhile, if something of such happens, the amount of money that is supposed to be deducted from the salary is supposed to be the amount of money that you've worked for that day. Let's just assume that it's about 4,500 or 5,000 something in a day. If you now calculate it, it sums up to that amount of money. That's your salary. That's what is supposed to be deducted and not something more. But now in a situation where it was included in the contract that if you do not come to work, 10,000 naira will be deducted from your salary, and you sign, it is no longer a matter of money that you earn for the day. It is now a matter of what the company or the establishment actually wants to deduct from your salary. So this brings me back to what I always talk about, that it is very important for you to read through. So now, when we were talking, I now told him what was stipulated in your employment letter, your employment contract agreement. He forwarded it. I said I want to see it, and when I read through it, I saw where it was actually stated, it was stipulated in that contract agreement, that employment contract agreement, that any staff who does not show up at work without a proper excuse that the amount that will be deducted from the salary is 10,000 naira. I saw it in that contract. So I told him, you don't have any excuse because you actually signed. So this contract binds you. The terms of this contract binds you. You are being bound by the terms of this contract. So you cannot get angry. But now let's look at it the other way around. Had it been that was not stated in that contract, it would have been a different issue. That would have been like kind of injustice. That would have been wrong, because you're supposed to deduct the amount that the person has worked for that day. How do you know the amount? You divide the entire salary by the number of days in that month. So you will now get how much you're being paid for per day. That is the amount that is supposed to be deducted. So it could happen. So this could happen in two ways. It could happen that it was stated in the contract that so amount to be deducted, and if you sign, you are bound by it. And it could also happen in such a way that it was not stated in the contract agreement, and then if they go ahead to deduct something much more than that, it is wrong. So like I always say, look at the terms of your contract of employment very well. Read through it. The ones that are too harsh, if you sign, understand the consequences, that if this happens, this is what is going to happen, and you don't have any reason to complain. You should not complain. Yes. So I hope this video helps you out there. If you watch to this point and you've not subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please click on the subscribe button and kindly turn on the notification bell so as to be notified each time I upload a new video. At this point, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.